G'day, welcome back. It is ESL Challenger League. We have had a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break, and now we're here for Asia after having watched FlyQuest kind of dominate their way through Oceania earlier today. But Mac, I think finally we might actually have a matchup that is not to say like worth watching, because I think every match in its own sort of right has some sort of discussion around it. But Tyloo versus Atox, this match actually could be one that I think is a little bit harder to really predict than many of the other ones that we've been watching over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, look, you think that Atox I feel like they can be a good team. You know, on paper they're definitely a good team, and we see them have good games from time to time. But when it's like online gameplay, I haven't been impressed. I've watched a few of Atox's games this season so far. And after what we saw from Tyloo last night, I'm actually a little bit worried about Atox today. I feel like Tyloo brought their A game, and they are looking sharp as nails. There's been a little bit of discussion around, you know, these roster swaps and the rumored roster changes over on the Twitter sphere. But I personally feel like where it is right now, at least for this season of ESL Challenger League, they have almost the perfect team. They should be able to keep going toe-to-toe with the big guns. Yeah,
most definitely. I mean, look, I agree with kind of what you're saying. Like, I think Tyloo have been looking pretty good with this iteration of the roster, which isn't even really a proper roster, right? They're playing with their coach. So with that in mind, I think you've got to sort of say that there's some positives to kind of take away for Tyloo. We'll take a look at the rosters here just to quickly update everybody at home in case they are maybe still wondering what's happening with Tyloo. The Atox roster shouldn't be too much of a surprise at this point in time, but yeah, Tyloo, they're sort of still going through those moving and shaking motions. We talked a lot about it last night. And, you know, we were sort of saying how potentially Starry and Gia coming into this Tyloo roster, that would be as a replacement for Cammy and ZDR in the current roster that they've got here. But as of yet, that doesn't seem to have been like locked in necessarily. It's just a rumor, so can't get too far ahead of ourselves. But yeah, interesting matchup. I mean, I think I'm kind of on board with what you're saying there about Atox as well, in that they've been a little bit of an up and down kind of a team. You almost hope to see better from them than what they've kind of been showing in this season of ESL Challenger League, particularly off the back of a solid performance at the most recent Asia RMR. But then again, you know, it is just one of those situations where maybe they need to turn up tonight, right? If they turn up, I think if we can probably both sit here and agree that if Atox turns up tonight and plays to the peak of their abilities, they can definitely take Tyloo down.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like they certainly can. It's just a matter of keeping your eyes on people like Annihilation, right? When he came back, he hadn't been playing CS2, and he still looked pretty good. He looked like he hadn't lost it. But has much changed? What have they incorporated in that time? Did I hear as well that Atox have been in Europe on a boot camp?
Rare Atom, I think, was the team maybe that you're thinking of, but I'm not sure. Maybe they have. Either way, that's a discussion point that we'll have to get to at one point. But look, I tell you what, when it comes to Atox, right, we talk about Annihilation, obviously, as a player to kind of keep an eye on. He's someone that we, I guess, haven't seen for quite a while, right, when he was back in that IHC roster that then went on to become Mongols. I think Annihilation was definitely someone that, you know, will be an interesting sort of focal point for a lot of these players, a lot of these teams, you know, because he can be that kind of explosive player that just sort of pops off and takes a game away from you. But how often is he going to do that? What's his form level looking like? I haven't really seen much of this iteration of Atox just yet. I haven't been able to cast many of their games, so I'm quite eager to see how he's going at least.
Yeah, I'm keen to see how a few of them are operating. Last time, I think, because Cabal's been calling, it feels like he might have fallen off a bit since, you know, Cabal's glory days when he was just farming. Dobu, definitely a name that does a lot of the heavy hitting for Atox. So keep your eyes on them, see how their form's looking after a bit of a hiatus. But Tyloo, of course, we got to keep looking at how they're performing. Every single name on that roster last night did their job.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't know if the maps are really much of a discussion again when it comes to these BO1s as well, but we've been seeing a little bit of like Nuke, for example, from Tyloo quite a lot lately and stuff like that, so maybe that'll get thrown into the pool. We can have a look and see what the first map is going to be for tonight. We'll chuck that one up and we can get into that discussion. And, well, the Nuke was actually banned out by Atox, so that makes a lot of sense, and we end up on Mirage, which I remember rightly, we got to see Mirage yesterday night from Tyloo, and they had a pretty decent time of it there. But
Yeah.
this is kind of the hang up for me with Tyloo at the moment, is that I agree that they've looked good in a lot of these matches that we've been watching over the last, let's say, week or 2 weeks. But those matches have been against quite weak opposition, all things considered. So I wouldn't necessarily take wins against God's Reign and the Cube as gospel.
Yeah.
I think it's very easy for a team like Tyloo, which has some really impressive stars, to actually just steamroll those kind of weaker teams, make it look easy, and, you know, not really... It doesn't, you know, you can't really read into it too much, right? So if this is actually quite a good test, I think, for where that level of Tyloo actually is, because we know the kind of level that Atox can bring to the table. We know that they're a decent team. So if Tyloo can come into this match and make this match look like the last couple of matches that we've seen from them, then that's a really, really positive sign for something like Jamyoung as a caller. Obviously, that core 3 roster as well with Jamyoung, Mercury, and Mosey. That will be certainly some confidence-building moments for them if they can dislodge Atox. But until they get the win against Atox tonight, if they're to get the win against Atox tonight, I'm still kind of having that little caveat in the back of my mind that I haven't really seen them against like a top team just yet. Yeah,
and this is at least, you know, one of the steps to doing so. But look, Mick, he's a name that I feel like when I looked at Atox's roster for the first time, I was kind of just like, you know, who's Mick? Who's this guy? But he's been doing a decent amount of work for them. Zester as well. It's like a couple of the names that you wouldn't expect on this Atox roster, some with maybe less experience than some of the other names, are the ones that end up performing a lot of the time. So on Mirage, let's see how it ends up working out. I'm leaning towards Tyloo still. I was very, very impressed with how, of course, they looked last night. So that's where my prediction is going to be laying.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we'll take a look at the predictions here. And at least for me, I've opted to actually go the way of Atox tonight, just because I think they've got a little bit more of maybe a little bit more of an argument to be made at this point in time. I mean, Tyloo's been a bit wishy-washy. I'll agree that I think Tyloo have definitely looked good. Eye test seems good. So I don't hate the Tyloo prediction. I sort of flirted with it myself, but I'll go with Atox. They've had a little bit more time as a roster. They've had some more impressive results recently in terms of things like the Asia RMR. So hoping that they're going to be able to get this one over the line tonight as well, although their ESL Challenger League run hasn't been as amazing as you might have hoped it to have been. But one thing that we do need to touch on is the Gidia player to watch, and that is going to be Annihilation for tonight. We did sort of briefly mention him a little bit earlier on. Obviously the sort of newest addition to this Atox roster, but as to whether or not he's going to be someone that's going to set the server alight, I think the jury's out at the moment, right? He's still coming off of quite a time off of the game for, well, would have been like a year or a year and a half. It was quite a long time. So still perhaps finding his feet back in this competitive environment.
I'm going to have a crack at his name. Tubshintugs?
Yep.
Nyamdosh.
I actually think that's probably pretty good. Although
it didn't sound Mongolian enough. Like we've heard
the
Mongolians having a chat to one another, and
yes,
it sounds very throaty, and I feel like that wasn't throaty at all. So
no. Yeah, like when you
next time maybe
when you try to read a Mongolian word in English, it just doesn't sound the way that it should sound. So that's something that you've probably messed up there. But anyway, look, we'll take a quick break here before we jump into the first map. It is, of course, Tyloo and Atox. They're going to be playing in just a moment. So don't go too far away. We'll see you in a sec. So here we are getting ready for Tyloo and Atox. Not too long that we're going to have to wait before jumping into map 1, which is going to be Mirage. Should be an interesting one. I've obviously gone for Atox as my prediction. Mac, you've gone for Tyloo. Yeah. How confident actually are you with that prediction, I wonder?
Pretty confident. I'd say 80%.
Okay.
Yep. I think they're just too good. You saw them yesterday. Tippity tap.
I did.
Coach playing better than half the team, which is also concerning for the opponents when they're like, oh, bro, they're just playing with the coach. And then you try to figure out what's going on. You try to
I don't think
them.
any of their opponents sound like that, by the way.
Yeah, bro. I reckon, or this coach, mate, if he's
good as.
He's terrible, bro. We're just going to run through him. Tyloo, who, huh?
Cammy, never heard of him.
That's exactly what Cabal says to the boys to try to fire him up, right? Like, exactly like that.
Yeah,
yep.
Definitely. All right, well, look, Tyloo versus Atox, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I want to have faith in Atox. I want to sort of see something from them because at the end of the day, like, I think this is a matchup that on paper they should be winning with the tenure of the roster. You don't want to be going down to a Tyloo who's kind of going through a bit of a rebuild phase. I know that this Tyloo team have some good players. They're looking okay at the moment, but you still wouldn't want to be dropping the ball here if you're Atox. I think this is a game that they should be winning. So let's see how they go. We'll jump into Mirage. Kick it off with Atox on the T side.
They're going pretty quick too. Let's see how they hit B and if they commit to it. Because at the moment, there is going to be a heavy presence from the CTC. A little bit of an awkward situation as Jam Young took a while to get boosted up, but he won't get spotted by Atox. Old window smoke lined up from Bobu here. It'll be interesting to see how far out that one blooms. And Jam Young's going to push forward. I think he's seen a shin. He has seen that and not... He's not been cleared. He's not been checked. Jam Young finding 2 there is huge. And there's more where that one came from. CDR going to be able to find one of his own and a 2v3 for Atox to try to get back in.
Yeah, look, I mean, if Jam Young's going to be hitting shots like that, then it's going to be a tough night for Atox. But that B250 is going to be able to strike. It's doing as it needs to. Mercury waiting quite patiently for his opportunity. And Flynn will also fall. Again, I really like what I'm seeing from Tyloo in that pistol, you know. It's just sharp shots, good, you know, accuracy. They're working hard for those kills, but they're swinging together and the cohesion, it just seems to be on point for Tyloo tonight. And even on top of that, like, they're not afraid of taking these fights either. So I think actually Tyloo, I have no idea. I have no insight at all, but I have to imagine that they've got some good mental at the moment, right? Whatever has gone on in that Tyloo camp, I don't know if you feel the same, but when you just watch them play the game, it just feels like it's kind of showing through in the server a little bit that there's something positive in Tyloo at the moment.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I feel like everything we're seeing is pretty bloody solid. Kami, a little bit of chip damage out there. Won't be able to stop the plant just yet. There is space at CT, but the CT's taking a little while to get back in, so it is going to be an open plant, and Atox in the 5-5 maybe have an opportunity here in the post plant. Jam Young just going to be clearing out CT, jiggling close. ZDR further back, and stop the first wave of enemies making their way forward. Going to be able to double it down. Now the T's find a bit of control in the jungle, and that's all they're going to be left with. Mick, nice chance, nice try. Found one of his own, but it's not quite enough there as Atox did force into this one. But with round loss and that bomb plant, they should be looking pretty into the next.
Yeah, still a pretty solid round though for Tyloo.
Yeah.
Keep your 3 guns alive, you'd be happy with that. But don't want to really draw too many conclusions just yet. I mean, the pistol looked good. Anti-eco looked good for Tyloo. But now we're going to get what sort of amounts to a gun round from Atox. Yeah, I mean, they've got 4 Galils, so it's not quite perfect on the T side, but it's definitely serviceable enough. Get to see whether or not Atox can flex their muscles early here. Some early util toss into mid from both. Mercury's going to go straight through the molly. And MyQ's waiting for this push into mid, but he has certainly bitten off more than he could chew. It was a perfect setup from Tyloo to deal with what Atox was setting up there. Atox in response will try to take the A side.
Okay, holding strong for the moment. Jam Young will be able to find that pick of his own. Nice little trade to keep the numbers strong for the CTs. And and Tyloo have brought everyone to the party. So they must have seen that bomb making their way out, main. And Flynn, oh, he's made a step, maybe. Mercury seems to be very aware, very cautious of that composition. He'll be the one to take it, and that'll be that. 4 alive at the end. Mercury barely living on 1 point of health, but 3 rounds in a row, and we're seeing some early dominance from Tyloo.
Certainly are. It's not some great signs for Atox that none of these rounds have even looked remotely competitive so far. But we'll see.
Oh. Well, that's an entry. That's how you do it. Full confidence from Mick straight out mid and locked. Hey, you're not supposed to be able to hit those, but he has. Mosaic going to be feeling the full force of the Juan Deeg. Mick's done his job, but now he's hit the grave.
Yeah, I mean, this is where maybe it all starts to fall apart for Tyloo. Historically, they've been a team that kind of crumbles in these sort of pressure situations. Jamie has more or less given up the B bomb site to try to clear out middle, and now that that goal has been achieved, he's going to start to have a little bit of a look back onto short, but he's already allowed the player to cross, and he's going to find himself in a sticky position. It doesn't even come down to Zesta, really, in the end. It's all done quite easily by Atox. Tyloo have got to be disappointed with how things have played out here. Maybe this nade can make it a little bit easier. A little bit of a wayward peek from Flynn. I'm still not sure that that's going to be enough to get Tyloo back into this, but the nade onto Cabal may just be. They've both got a defuse kit. Dobu coming in from behind. They've got to start to wonder, where is he? But someone will have to tap the bomb. Dobu gives away his position, but that defuse is not quite on yet for Cammy. And time a factor, but I think he might just have it, does he? Cammy thinks so. And he's going to sit the defuse. And he's going to win the round as well. Tyloo somehow still get away with another round, and it's 4-0.
Nuts little clutch coming through from the super sub, the coach, the man, the myth, legend, Kami. And that is going to be 4 in a row. Atox certainly kept them on the toes, though. I thought they definitely would have locked that in the 4v2. But the late lurk, the late flank coming through from Dobu, just unfortunately for them, was not strong enough. There was half a second in it. And into the next, at least with the bomb plant, they'll be able to buy again and try and keep some more financial pressure onto Tyloo. They need to find a round sooner, or it's just going to be an awkward affair, similar to the first couple of games we saw today.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that just shouldn't be the case, but maybe Atox had sort of a bit of a purple patch going into that Asia RMR where they were looking good and they did play well there, and maybe it's just not really converted into long-term form. ZDR, not traditionally an AWPer. He's normally a rifler, but he's been able to hit that shot quite nicely.
AWPing's easy, Jordan. You just have to shoot one bullet and kill him.
Just point-and-click adventure game, really. Oh, he's going to get the headshot onto Flynn, but he will lose his life. Not sure that that's quite going to enable a bomb plan here for the last standing for Atox.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, the nade will get him. Easy dunk.
Lovely. Great throw. Pure Counter-Strike. And Tyloo into the 6th round are going to have a slightly more healthy economy after keeping 3 alive at the end of that one. Atox just couldn't go to toe with ZDR as they try to make their way up con. And nothing seems to be working. I would personally suggest a B split. Is that the call, Jordan?
May well be. First, they're going to have to take control of mid.
Got plenty going on here. Ooh, Cabal. Going to be tickled by the flames. Re-smoke at TopCon. Re-smoke on window. Mates, he'll start to make his way forward, but with that molly in the way, things are going to slow down. Bomb's still in spawn, and Dobu's got to be the man to bring that one across eventually, but they've got Zesta to do it instead. They've feigned the split B. Mosea has full eyes on short, though, so they know it's not going to be that B split, and attention going to be drawn back towards A.
Well, does ZDR have the information, or is he just making the read? Right now, he's just waiting quite patiently. Oh, he's definitely got the info now. So he changed his position up. A little bit wary. Player in Palace, Dobu kind of gets away with a freebie, and now Cammy under a lot of pressure as well. Wayward's fake, Cabal just strafing out, and oof, that round has gone horribly wrong for Tyloo. Couple of minor mishaps on timing, positioning. You know, maybe the steps of ZDR kind of giving away his position, and it all falls apart like a house of cards.
But it's a round. And some confidence salvaged from Atox. Look at Tyloo's economy. This M4 is going to be crucial into the next round. Charmy and Mosea should be able to bite. ZDR certainly will be able to. And Jamie Ung, as you could also say it. I wouldn't, though.
Jammy Ung.
Jamie Ung.
What about Jam Yo Ung?
Jamio. Like Damio's brother. The third Portelli triplet.
Jam you. He's dead.
Yeah, perfect round. 5 alive. 4 alive. Well, Nate, what are you doing? I'll tell you the best thing about Dust 2 coming back is it's one of the only maps where the bomb radius is still tiny. There's not many maps that are like that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, Atox, it worked in the previous round. Nice little attempt at that mid control, and they're going to try to go for it again. ZDR going to be able to post towards the top of mid after making a jump to short, but gets domed. Mick, so good at these entries at mid.
Yeah, this is winds of change maybe starting to come through. Atox, oh, they didn't look like they could really play the game at all. Somehow, what's going on? Jam Young, I don't know how he hasn't managed to walk away with a kill there. It looked like he had 2 almost lined up, but either way, Tyloo still fighting in this round and actually might be able to find a way to recover this. And if they were to do that, then, I mean, that's bad news indeed for Atox, because it really felt like their run on Mirage had just started. It gets a little bit harder in trying to close this round out, particularly with Mosey not having given away his position yet. Getting what you'd imagine should be a free kill right here, and maybe even then some. He's going to wait really patiently and gets the bink on Zesta as well. Unfortunately, not able to get the kill, but Cammy with some nicely placed spam will get it done, and might even just be able to defuse. Is the smoke covering the bomb? I don't think so. Oh, it's definitely not. And now he's in a bit of a difficult situation again, where it comes down to Cammy for the clutch. One-on-one. MIQ gave him a bit of a chance there, but no chance, unfortunately, in the end, as he'll have to go back and save that M4. So 2-0 on the trot for Atox. Are they starting to push their way into this map? It seems so.
Not bloody bad. Let's see if they can triple it down here. Tyler's economy going to be broken, so should be an easier round for Atox, for the Mongolian Dream Team. And Tyler just going to be taking the full old eco, looking to get a buy going into round number 9 to round number 8. No firing spots, just a attempt at some damage through that smoke at window. Ooh, and the jump spot is going to be seen but not connected upon, as Atox will full commit towards the B site. The bait was perfect. Jam Young went a little bit too wide there with the AK, won't be able to get a shot off, but the USPs are doing damage order, and it's up to Kami to try to clutch.
Again, yeah, but either way, the fact that it doesn't go to Tyloo is one thing, but yeah, as you said, the USPs are getting a lot of work done. Atox are really having to fight hard to get these rounds on the board at the moment. look at that in comparison to the rounds that Tyloo were winning, and a lot of them sort of felt very comfortable for Tyloo. But in saying that, you know, it doesn't necessarily matter how you get the rounds on the board as long as you are getting the rounds on the board. And Atox are doing enough now that they're putting pressure on the Tyloo economy, of course. So they've obviously got themselves another bye here, but a loss in this round more or less means Atox are able to equalize the scoreline at 5 apiece.
Little pick coming through. Atox going to be able to turn it into a 2-for-1 deal there. ZDR slinks away with his pick. And a 2-1 split of that defense. Only Jam Young here to try and lock it down at B. Jumping, seeing if anyone was going to disrespect the smoke. He'll peek into one. Oh, bit of damage in through the wall. 13 in the clip, and Atox, they are coming and no one out the window though, so he should fall for free. Great support of Util over the top, keeps him alive, but not for long. The B site in the hands of Atox, and Tyloo don't have money, so you kind of want him to save in a situation like this.
Kami's just going to go floating around in mid. I'm not too sure what that's about. Was he maybe trying to retrieve a gun?
Maybe some util or a kit or something there towards mid on those blue X's on the map you can see.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't, in the end, turned out to be worth it.
No.
Unfortunate for Mr. Kami. ZDR is going to have difficulty holding onto his weapon now that his position's been given away as well.
Drop that, Malik. Do something, mate. Footsteps. You can't just sit here. Ooh. Online peek. Goes for the swing.
Ooh.
He gets the things that he's looking for. Fights for his life. You'll take that.
I mean, that's a win. Again, a lot of damage done to Atox. Even though they're getting these rounds on the board, you're just thinking, okay, well, Tyloo, they're like lurking in the shadows, or maybe they're the sharks in the water, they're circling. AK, could it be the difference maker in this one for Tyloo to, again, just wrestle control of the half back? Or does Atox keep this campaign pushing forward? ZCR is going to be set up to try to make some magic happen, but not in a position to really have the impact, and the push coming into A has drawn his attention instead.
Ooh. Tyloo going to be able to dominate the A site with the late trade. Cabal tried to catch a timing, but unfortunately he just caught those shots. Now we've got B. We've got Zesta just trying to draw attention back to this side of the map, but in the meanwhile you can also see that Mercury is still chilling, still has that M4, or the AK rather, and a molly to try and buy some extra time. And ZDR, he's not buying that fake, he's going all the way back to CT. Good position to be in considering where Atox are looking.
I wonder, do they walk right into this AK setup? Can Mercury and ZDR contribute enough in that case if they do? Mercury's definitely in a interesting position. Shouldn't get away with more than one. Won't. And ZDR spotted out as well.
Well played. Nice little lockdown there. Keeping 3 alive for the Mongolians. They're going to be happy as anything. And there you go, Mick. 16 and 6, doing a lot of the heavy lifting here for Atox right now.
Yeah.
Tyloo, a little slow to start today. Well, I guess they were fast to start, but they've definitely been grace. You know, 5-5 with 2 rounds left in the half. It's anyone's half. Could go even Stevens into the second half, but who's going to be walking out with this mid control? Atox bringing many more numbers to the party.
Cabal is hoping for his opportunity. Nothing presenting just yet. It's going to be a deep smoke at the bottom of con from Tyloo, answering with a window smoke from Atox and then a pop up to short. And in fact, we're going to try and work their way in through ladder room, have a little bit of cheeky peek in there. I wonder if that's false info though, because Mosey has only now just jumped into it. It could cause a little bit of a ruckus on the backside. Flynn is watching it with the AWP, but he misses a shot. He's going to be a dead man, and there it is, Dobu to drop. And it's just falling apart for Atox.
Counter-terrorists win.
Unlucko Malacca. 5 on the T side isn't too bad here on Mirage, but the 1 round gap can be closed right now before we jump into that second half. And Tyloo, they got 3 AKs, so it will be hard for Atox to get past them, especially with some thin utility there on Zesta. But it looks like they might just go all in. Dobu drawing attention towards mid, just being that man to show some kind of presence. And Atox, oh, what's going on here?
Well,
The damage has been taken and a tick.
Yeah.
Have we got a reset?
I think we might. I mean, Tyloo certainly aren't messing around. Yeah, Atox are going to go. I mean, okay. Well, are we or are we not? I'm still confused.
The double pump, Zesta, gonna go for a late window smoke, trying to allow Dobu to have some impact here. What do we got? A CT smoke coming through from Dobu. Or is that jungle? It's top con.
All right.
I was
well,
wrong
either
both
way,
times.
I think we can. I think we can be safe in the knowledge that this round is actually going ahead. Atox have spent a little bit more time maybe than they'd have liked to. They're starting to work their way into A. Cammy just gets deleted. So that's already not a good start for him. Zesta picking that kill up.
Someone more and more.
Oh, that's a very risky bomb plan that very nearly almost doesn't work out. MIQ, though, will be there for the trade, and Tyloo now relying on just Jamyoung, who can't get it done. End of the half, 6 apiece. Undecided as to which way this one is going. 6 apiece. This is the closest match of ESL Challenger League that we have watched in quite a while. I've seen a lot of stomps, but this one is not that. It was looking like it might be. 5-0 lead for Tyloo at the start of the half, but now they're going to have to do it the hard way. Moving on to the T side. We'll see what they've got here for this B take.
Well, they got Julie's to try and stop it. Mick only able to find one there. We'll get team flashed, unfortunately, off the timing, but look at that. It is the 4K, the 4-piece from Zesta, who locks it in from short instead.
Yeah, very nice stuff. Very, very crisp aim with that USP. And that is going to be a little bit of a head scratcher for Tyloo. They've got to be wondering, like, how did this all go so wrong? We were up 5-0, and now here we are, 7-6. Anyway, back to square one for Tyloo. I guess they'll have to run it back with the Glocks. Then come into the next round with some guns. They'd love to get a bomb plan here, but just don't really see where that's going to be facilitated with a 5 Glock set. No util at all.
Just letting that clock tick right down. Real slow like. Atox. Whoa. Just going to pick them apart. Once the 2-piece cops the dink, and the Glocks are going to keep on humming.
Oh. Okay. You got the ace. Pretty crispy.
Bang, bang.
Yeah. So very nice start to the half for Atox. Exactly what they would have wanted. However, it's AK time. And as we've talked about previously, Tyloo do have one of the more fearsome rifling cores that's knocking around in Asian CS at the moment. Jamyoung, Mercury, Mosey. All very impressive in their own right. And actually, honestly, Cammy and ZDR tend not to be too bad either. See what they can conjure up now that they've got the guns in hand. A lot of util early tossed in from Atox to prevent any kind of semblance of a rush. But it's going to be a good old-fashioned execute from Tyloo, and here comes that util, and following that, here comes Tyloo.
Mick going to be able to get one on the fadeaway, draw attention away from the far left. 1-1, so the double down comes to Dobu, tucking in at default, finds through. It's actually Flint snatched that one away, and ZDR on a 1v5, but I don't think so. My man ain't going to be happening. It's Flynn from afar to close things out, or Zesta rather. And that's going to be a 3-round lead found by Atox.
Yes, it's starting to look quite dire for Tyloo now. How the tables have turned. Feels really crazy that we were at a 5-0 lead for Tyloo at one point, and now we're at this scoreline. Atox starting to build that money up nicely on the CT side as well. This round should be quite comfortable for them. Only the 2 deagles brought in by Tyloo. Flynn's got the AWP in hand. Nade might do a hefty chunk. Wow, that's done a lot of damage to Mercury. That's 1 grenade. It's a follow-up nade that'll finish off Mosey. Mercury and ZDR copping a little bit of a tickle. Run boost. It's going to prove successful in that he was able to jump across to the boxes, but wasn't able to get too much done with it. And that's a very nice round again from Atox. Up to 10 now, and money is starting to flow.
They're mopping up. They're cleaning up real good right now. Let's see if they can keep it going. Keep the momentum moving here on the CT side, but so far so good as Tyloo are looking more lost up against the likes of Atox as opposed to their opponents yesterday.
All right.
Boosted up into window.
Let's see what they've got.
Oh. Nice peek from Mick there. Nade across the top's going to dunk on ZDR. But in the meanwhile, Ball has fallen. So Mick might be a little bit worried. However, it doesn't seem like it. Happy just to wrist swing onto ZDR. Get the AWP out of his hands. And there is going to be the numbers advantage for Tyloo. So we'll see if they can convert finally here in the second half.
Yeah, it would be big for Atox if they were able to pull this one back. Couple of players starting to work their way toward B. We've really only got Zeta on that side of the map at the moment. But he's got a full belt of util. If he tosses this util in on a good timing, which he actually has done. Oh, the nade. Oh, he's going to toss that in nicely as well. Not really done quite so much damage, but he's got his smoke down. He's got his util out. There's 30 seconds left on the clock, and Atox pretty aware that this is going to end up being a B take, so they've at least got MIQ there now as well to help out Zesta. He set himself up over the top of the smoke, and oh my word, it has just gone horribly wrong for Tyloo. But great B anchoring coming through from Zesta.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Atox showing their A game and looking to keep this train going. I thought Tyloo was certainly going to be able to convert that one, but they have dropped the ball. Atox proving a little bit too difficult to deal with here on their CT side. Top mid smoke looking to deny vision from Tyloo has definitely done its job and baited out some extra utility, but Atox can be aware that it is going to be execute heavy gameplay coming through. Flynn going to be able to pick one off, meanwhile Dobu holding from the top of the balcony. Won't be able to spin around and find Kami in time, but it is going to be his helping hand of his teammate to get it done. ZDR 1v3 angle. Getting that trade. But he runs into the AWP of Flynn, which has been impressing me this game.
Well, this is very much starting to look like quite a humbling experience for Tyloo.
Yeah.
It has been pretty much sunshine and roses for the last couple of weeks. They've been versing some teams that have been weaker than them. They've been looking very good in those matchups, and they started this game looking really good. And then it has just gone absolutely nowhere. We might end up finding ourselves at a 13-6 scoreline after Tyloo were up 5-0. I'm at a loss to describe exactly why or how that has happened. But nonetheless, it has happened.
Molly towards the bottom. Keeping unders. Dobu, meanwhile, going to be able to find one there. Mick will fall and lose the man advantage as Jamyong finds another. So mid control going to be taken late and dry from Tyloo. Quite boost into window two, which might just seal the deal if they can catch a timing onto Dobu, who's got his knife out. Ooh. Hosea tucked in the corner though, and looking to take the sneaky approach with a re-smoke on window. And Dobu, in the meanwhile, going to be able to crack that smoke open, find a timing. Mosea jumping, going to be able to get that trade. Ooh. And Flynn won't be able to get that shot off this time. It's all up to Zesta in the 1v3.
Indeed. Might be a little bit more than he can handle, but look, plenty of cash. You might even think about going for it. Just hiding behind that smoke, see if it fades favorably enough for him. Time running down, so quite unlikely, and with ZDR there's no chance at all. So 12 still for Atox remains, and Tyloo are going to do what they can to try to salvage a bit of pride on this map. Still very much feels like it should be Atox's to lose though.
Yeah. At least Tyloo are on the board in the second half, so see if they can double down. Try and play for overtime. Smoke extinguishing that molly. Escobar. Very interested in underpass. Nice flash. Blinded Jamyoung, but Cabal unable to capitalize off the back of that.
Bit of bad luck, maybe. An exchange of nades in mid, but it's the bullet from Mosey's head. Mosey's bullet that will go into the head of whatever. Mosey, headshot on Zesta. That's what I was trying to find there. But
Huge.
Mosey's also out onto the B-bomb site, so I guess that's more important at this point in time. Has lost his life though. Salvage done by Atox. Oh, and Dobu should have died there. Cammy caught him on the ladder. Wasn't able to take advantage of it. Makes the job much more difficult actually now for Tyloo to get into this bomb site. But Dobu's still been found. Flynn gonna get greedy up over the top of Ticket, but hasn't been spotted just yet. Pistol out. Oh, it's a ballsy play. How's he gotten rid of Jamyoung there? I don't know, but it's on to ZDR to try to clutch it out now against MIQ, who's 21-10.
Is it closing? Looks like it will be. ZDR none the wiser. And Mick going to be able to lock it in. Big defuse to put 13 on the board. And the first best of one of the evening between Tyloo and Atox is in the bag.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that was quite a roller coaster of a map, wasn't it? Tyloo, it looked like they were starting that one phenomenally. I mean, they did start it phenomenally. They got 5 rounds in a row. You can't really be too disappointed with that, but Atox fought back quite nicely, brought it back to 6 apiece in that first half, and then they themselves just absolutely dominated their CT side, and there's not really much to say about Tyloo there. So it does sort of poke some holes in the theories that Tyloo have been kind of looking good. I thought they were looking good. I thought they were, but then you have to sort of go, well, it was against some weaker opposition, so maybe we jumped the gun a little bit. Maybe we got a bit too excited for nothing. And Atox have, yeah, as I said, kind of humbled them a little bit with that game.
Yeah, you'll take it, especially if you're Atox. That's going to pump them up the leaderboard a little bit, give them maybe a better seed going into playoffs. And yeah, they're going to be extremely happy, but they got to double it down. They got to do it again. We got a second best of one to get to as Mirage. Yes, we spoke about it yesterday. Tyloo for a while have looked like they have had a pretty shaky Mirage, and they looked really good yesterday. But Atox, that Mongolian Mirage, man, a little bit scary.
Yeah, a little bit scary indeed. But yeah, I guess it's going to be one of those things that I guess Tyloo are going to have to sort of go back to the drawing board with. And I don't know if they're going to necessarily feel too bad about that. It is still this rebuild period for Tyloo, so maybe we can give them some slack. But we'll talk about our Kadia player to watch in that matchup. It was ZDR. He was having a great time of it, especially in that first half. Ended up 18 and 15, was definitely one of the standouts for Tyloo, but was not quite enough to get it over the line. And Atox, yeah, still going to get enough done themselves. So I don't know, jury's out, I guess, as to whether this is going to go 1-1 or 2-0. I still have a bit of faith in Tyloo. I think they're still quite a solid team, and I don't think we saw their best foot being put forward there on Mirage. But
for sure.
That said, Atox are looking like a team that might be able to rampage through this one and grab the 2-0 tonight.
I'd happily have my prediction wrong if we can see that, you know. Atox, they were looking real sharp. We got to see some crazy one digs out of Mick. I swear that happens every time. And then when another Atox game comes up, I just underrate them. And then Mick does that. And I'm like, all right. Well, if we're getting that kind of Mick, then I'm happy to watch that kind of Counter-Strike all night. And we got second game. What's your tip for the second game? What map do you reckon we're going to?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I mean, look, like I said, I think Tyloo, they will always want to try to go toward Nuke if they can get that one. So maybe we'll keep that one in mind as we head into the break and figure it out when we do come back from this one. It will be about 10 minutes or so don't go too far away. We'll catch you for map 2. So here we are. It is time for us to jump into map number 2. Of course, as you can see, that would be Anubis. And it's Tyloo to start things off on the T side. Zesta has already been able to spot out Jamyoung. That information's not going to give too much away, though, because the rest of Tyloo are walking their way in through mid. Flynn going to have a bad time when this smoke fades, I dare say. He is definitely not cognizant to the possibility that Mosey is standing right next to him. But Cabal able to trade one back at the very least. And now it's on to MIQ, who will grab another and then potentially some as well, as they're going to challenge their way forward. And he's good for at least one more before falling. Cabal will lead the charge, pushing his way out. But he is in a spot of bother now. He's got to get the backup from Dobu. Does in time. And the pistol will go the way of Atox. 1-0. And they keep their nice form rolling through from Mirage onto Anubis. Nothing too special when it comes to the first round buy for Atox. A few MP9s, a couple of M4s. Going to do a little bit of work on that B side of the map to try to get some info there. Zesta again having a little bit of a peek outside of B main. Didn't really see too much. A lot of map control actually now, Atox, and Zesta is going to keep pressing forward in the hopes that he can find something. Flynn also will spot one in mid. Tyloo, to their credit, are doing a pretty good job of bleeding out a lot of that CT util. But ultimately, as we would imagine, that round is going to more or less peter out into nothing for Tyloo. It's just Jamyoung left alive now, sticking his way. And so to Flynn and MIQ, as that smoke would start to fade. That'll be wrapped up pretty comfortably by Atox. All 5 guns go through. Perfect start to the map as far as they're concerned. Okay, Atox. Their first real test on the map, and it's been answered nicely. Dobu making good use of the flash from Finn. He's got himself one, and Cabal's just charged out over the bridge in mid. He's going to get the on, but he actually really needs to win this duel, and with an MP9, he's not going to be able to do it. It's got a bit out of hand for Atox. They had such a solid lead in that round, and they decided to keep trying to push the issue, and Tyloo answered it nicely. See what Flynn can do with the MP9 up against a couple of low HP members. Jamyoung and Cammy do have the numbers advantage, but actually the HP advantage is with Flynn. Might have even gambled his timing pretty nicely here. Oh, this is perfect actually for Flynn. It's just a question of whether or not that trade is going to come through. And now for Cammy, it's going to be extremely difficult to do so. He at least has the Molotov, but there's a smoke for Flynn even. Got to jump straight through it. And Cammy will gamble on that bomb plant. But with only 17 HP, Flynn should be able to get the job done here. He's only got 8 bullets left. We'll go for the reload. He knows exactly where Cammy is. Just has to strafe out and hit a couple of shots, and he'll be able to get it done. A nice 2-on-1 from Flynn. Good patience.
Not bad.
And the bomb will be easily defused, so it's a 3-0 start for Atox.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Did you tell everyone where I was?
No, what? I didn't even realize you were gone.
Oh,
Just having a grand old time here on my own.
well then no one needs to know where I was. Huh?
No one needs to know.
Let us know in chat where you think I went, what I was doing, what I might have been smashing or not. Huh? Well, 4th round, and it's looking pretty good so far from Atox. 3 on the CT side already. Even though they only had 1 alive at the end of that last round, that's a pretty solid start knowing Anubis in its current iteration.
That is true.
2-1-2 split. Cabal, I'm not seeing anything towards mid just yet, and holding on to that smoke. I like how he's playing this one. Mosaic with the line for hours. Tech nice to get right up into the grills of Cabal, but without any enabling flashes. Right, Cabal's going to be able to find some more as well. Hanging around before dropping that AK. But 3 big kills means it should be a fourth to Atox, unless Mosaic and Mercury can fire up here.
Well, they are 2 players that are liable to do that. Although Mercury 0 and 3 for the map so far has been taking his time to get rolling. Looks like he's got the defense in. That's a little bit messy. But it's all good. Dobu's going to be scurrying back over to the B side. I'm not sure if he quite gets there in time. He did. The manage should just be enough to do it. Very well placed. All the way down there as well to make life a bit more difficult for Mercury. And he's been spotted out as well. Down to 1 HP. He's lucky that Ollie didn't spread any further. Otherwise, he was a dead man. Won't even be able to get that bomb plan either. So it goes from bad to worse for Tyloo.
Can they make it 5-0?
Yeah.
Can Tyloo turn this thing around?
Well, Tyloo are going to have to do something similar to what Atox was able to do on Mirage. The way things are looking.
Real slow start to the round this time. Tyloo just sitting back. Not fighting for too much map control, just looking to punish. But with that flash, they'll get Kami on the line towards A main. Nick playing real deep, and we'll just trade that utility with 1 molly. Actually thinking about going in behind it. Smokes forward. Okay. Like the ambition. And that will force out extra utility from Tyloo as well. They're going to start to take that dark control. They're going to take that A main control. But Mick playing in front of it and happily just takes that pick onto Kami. So that's going to be the numbers advantage, and Atox sitting pretty.
Yeah, a lot of moving and shaking going on in the Tyloo camp at the moment. Is finding the timing to clear over bridge. And Atox, they're playing a very aggressive CT side, Mac. This is like the 3rd or 4th round where they've pushed out that B main position, and probably the 2nd where it's actually gone on a significant journey.
Yeah.
A lot of information for Dobu. You can see that big stack on the A bomb site from Atox. They've got all the pieces of the puzzle where they need to be, and it's just a case of putting them in place. 1 kill for Tyloo to get their way into the site, but it's just not going to be enough. They need more than that, and they're not really getting it. That's just dominance from Atox, really.
Put him in the meat grinder. 3 rifles, one of which is an AWP or a sniper rifle. Technically still a rifle. Carried across into the next round, and Atox economy is looking like it could be a little more healthy, but they're getting the rounds. 5 already on the CT side. Tyloo, this is looking like it's quickly going to start to become the end, unless they can provide a solid second half or do something here in the first half to try and salvage. And this is going to be them taking a tactical to try and make it happen now, because they realize that their backs already are against the door.
I mean, one thing that they hopefully have recognized is that Atox like to play aggressive out of B main. And if they're cognizant of that fact. Maybe they can conjure something from that. But then you also have to kind of question whether or not Atox is going to continue to play that way.
Smoked off though. And a little battle for the Canals control. Tyloo positioned to go for the B split. Tyloo merge lined up. Flash is in. Molly, Drake County utility to slow things down, and those a little bit further away from the corner means it's easy pickings for the first, but not quite the second. Jam Young, trade game, looking damn good. The smoke's still up. Army is going to be the one to try and get the next work, but he will only find one. Jam Young, however, pushing the smoke at B main, is going to be able to double down and make this one look winnable. A minute on the clock. They just don't know where Mick is. Now they do. ZDR comes through for the trade, and Tyloo find their first.
Yeah, wasn't expecting the double up at E-Box. There was a couple of rounds which have been pretty close. Did touch and go. And this one finally is the one that Tyloo actually get over the line. But that again has to come down to a one-on-one clutch. The money's still good enough for Atox to afford another buy. And 5 rounds on the CT side from Atox is already a pretty good position to find themselves in. So for Atox, look for 1 or 2 more right here. Flynn isn't expecting someone close. Oh, it seems that he is. He's actually gone hunting for that frag. He'll catch Mercury in the end. It's gotten a bit messy. And it might be Atox to start to reel it back in a bit.
Gain them any info other than the utility that's been thrown Atox's way. Mick, lovely timing, dancing around the cake here. Drops a smoke in case Molly was around the corner, but it's a nade to chip him down to half. Jamming follow through, but now it's up to Mosaic. Nice trade on the flank, but he's not expecting the spacing on this one. It would have been free. Dobu, a little shaky, but he gets there in the end. Mosaic won't be able to get around the corner, and Tyloo cannot find their second.
No, sir. Right back to square one as well, because this is going to give Atox the opportunity to build their bank back up. And every round that you get on the CT side feels like it's coming at a massive premium. Tyloo will not be pleased with how tonight has gone. Mirage, you might be able to say, okay, well, things didn't go our way. Maybe didn't expect Atox to look that good, but no excuse now. You're on the T side of Anubis. You've had the opportunity to sort of recalibrate in that break in the middle of the maps and just have not been able to do that. It just seems like it's Atox's night tonight.
Flynn baited. Lovely reaction out of Mick there as well. Lost the man on the right side. Awkward shots coming through from the Deagles, and Mick will escape unscathed. Oh, Tyloo. Very unfortunate not to be able to turn that into a trade, but what can they do with the Deagle work?
Zestar, you think should be up to the task. 9 ready, willing, and able for 4, in fact. And that was a little bit too easy in the end. So perfect round, actually, as far as Atox is concerned. Extra money coming through from those SMG kills as well. It is looking pretty bad indeed for Tyloo. There's no salvaging the half anymore. Best case scenario is 7-5, which is just not really good enough on the T side of Anubis.
Cracker opening from ZDR. And convert. Ooh, not quite wary of the window, but Cabal still sneaks away. Limps even. And just tries to go for a safer approach. Looking to regroup at B. I think Nick's edgy to smoke here. He's on a line towards main. Throws his own just to try to lock it in. There is going to be a nade in the hand of Mercury. We'll see if they break this one. If they did, it could have been a free one onto Mick, but they don't go for it. They're just playing patient. And meanwhile, Dobu's still making noise, and there's that crack through the smoke. Keep going down. The fast rotations as Atox have a world of information over towards B instead. Zesta even swinging here up towards the fountain. Good able to double it in. Rosea could save the round. There's his first. ZDR chimes in, and Cabal on 13 points of health. Yeah, it's not looking too likely here for him.
Yeah.
It's just a save on the cards with the AWP.
Better off, yeah, taking that AWP through to the next round. Money's a little bit touch and go for Atox. But if they save the AWP, they'll be able to scrounge something together.
Looks like that's going to happen.
Terrorists win.
Yeah, he'll be fine. All right. Run it back. Atox, last time they lost a round, kind of dominated the next round. Might be on the cards again, because that buy that they've managed to put together has looked pretty decent, actually. Standard approach from Tyloo. Looks like it's just going to be a B take here. The pop flash into E-box. Getting set up for Mercury. Not quite going to be caught by that, and well prepared for the fight. He's helped out by Zesta. He will maintain control of E-box, and it's on to Flynn to try to hold the rest of the B bomb site. He's now receiving the flood of teammates as well. The rotation came through thick and fast, and ZDR is locked out of any kind of engagement by that smoke. He walked upon. Nice flick. This guy mechanically very strong. But either way, it's not going to be enough. And that is 8-2 now. Atox have another one.
Mid smoke coming through here. Tyloo only with 2 so far on the T side is definitely worrying. Flynn revealing the position of his AWP. Let's see if Tyloo decide to run there anyway. Young with a flash at the ready to try to get the boys up with his doors control, and it works well this time. Flashes raining even further forward. Flynn pushed into camera. And a helping hand coming across from Zesta at top mid. But Tyloo with the numbers. He's going to hit the brakes and wait for this slow repeat. Oh. Flynn hits it. Ain't no way, bro.
Well, it doesn't seem to have done a whole lot for the round. Tyloo Tyloo have answered back with a couple of their own.
True.
It's just down to the sole defenders on either bomb site, and one is not going to be enough in this case.
Terrorists win.
8 to 3.
Unfortunate little spray from Mick there. Jam Young going to be able to bring it back. Find himself a double. Mosaic a double. And yeah, as you said, 3 now for Tyloo. Maybe a 4th on the horizon. Looks like it should be, considering how low the buy is now for Atox. But yeah, I'm still a little worried about what's going to be going down in the second half, Jordan.
I am also concerned. Let's not count out the possibility of a 9th here as well. Take. The MP9 swing is good for another 1-for-1.
One bomb.
And the bomb. Yeah, that's the key talking point. Atox are going to be able to gather their forces and just try to lock down this one quadrant of the map. Or die trying.
Yeah, ZDR has no idea this fast flank's coming. Oh, now they do. They've seen it. Flynn falling. Could have just lost them the round, but do they expect the second man? This timing from Mick is immaculate.
Immaculate.
Immaculate even. Oh, he's even got the knife out. He's so confident though. He knows that he needs a helping hand. Draws attention away. But Mick needs to find all 3. Eyes go back towards him. And he can stop the cross, but the shots are too strong. ZDR takes us into the half and puts Tyloo on 4.
Second half is on its way. Tyloo, I'm not looking too crash hot. They were able to do a little bit better in the latter stages of that first half, but not really enough to reclaim a whole lot. 8-4. When you're on the T side, not a great start for Tyloo. Atox well favored to win the map now, and we're going to see how their B take goes. Yeah, it's 3-on-2, but Atox don't really seem to have a whole lot of direction at the moment. They're going to end up going toward A. Mosey surely has been heard. They'll be now aware of that with the shot that's been tossed out, and he's good for it. Cammy left isolated in the 1-on-3. Molotov into Cams. His first shot is a good one onto Cabal. He's got to hit a couple more. He's only got 7 bullets remaining, so doesn't have too many opportunities, but those that he does have are certainly looking very sharp indeed. Tap onto the bomb. It's going to draw out the peak from MIQ, but it's a little too late now for Cammy, who's just going to have to sit that defuse. MIQ will give it another couple of seconds, and then he'll have to go and have a look. Has he left it too late? Certainly not. And that will be the piss around under the belt of Atox.
I thought maybe they did. Maybe they had left it that little bit too late. Alas, he gets it done. And with Tyloo unable to get that round, things get even harder because buying into the second as a CT when you lose is extremely difficult. No one's done that. Young will go for a upgrade to the P250. Tyloo's hoping that stacking somewhere might just be the only option. Camera seems to be drawing a little bit of attention. Trying to get their eyes off the man with that slight upgrade. Nice little trade. If they can get their mitts on the Mac 10, maybe there's a world. But the info is all filtering in through mid. Plenty of noise made there by Tyloo and Atox now.
Dobu. Oh, Dobu. Good thing he's got the Galil. Couple of extra bullets there and a bit of extra fire rate. Gets the job done nice and easy. It doesn't seem like there's going to be too many speed bumps for Atox in this one in the end. So 10 double digits again be secured pretty comfortably for Atox. It's been a bit of a disappointing performance from Tyloo. I think it really spits in the face of the excitement that we had over the last couple of weeks for them.
And that's that. 10 on the board, double digits acquired, 4 alive at the end of it, and Tyloo, well, they've got guns, and they've got a decent amount of util, but I'm seeing a severe lack of helmets on 4 individuals. We got 1 Mac 10, 2 Galil still in play. That's dangerous.
Oh, Mosey. Oh, that is ballsy. He's going to lose half his HP for the information that he gets on bridge there.
Still committing to this 3-2 split. Heavy pressure. Well, heavy presence at A, not so much pressure from Tyloo. Atox just throwing that molly. Trying to draw attention away from that B site. And now, well, they shift in. You see Mercury throw a well-timed smoke. What's Mick got ready? No banger. Just his gun out, expecting a slow flank from A main. And Jam Young going to be tucked away in towards dark area. spot on site. We'll decide to get it out of there instead, knowing that the smoke was going to be clearing him out, and Mercury will be left for dead. Acting with the shred straight through him, and things go from bad to worse for Tyloo. Jamyoung, though, heroic play, is going to be able to bring it back in their favor. One-man advantage, make it 2 now, as Mosaic is going to be able to strike, and Mick in a 1v3. That smoke fading will get info on 1. Right, and it's waiting.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in that position, it's hard to find any safety.
Yep. Just nowhere really for him to go. He's kind of relying on Tyloo to make a mistake there and swing from the angle that he's watching. But they don't. Atox, though, did get the bomb plant down, so pressure will still be maintained on Tyloo. Atox are going to get themselves another buy. Mercury's still stuck there with an MP9. He's 4 and 14 for the map. Hasn't been a whole lot from him. It's good to see Jamyoung still having positive contributions.
Little prog smoke from Zesta. But it's not going to work for Jamyoung. Plays in front, flashes forward. And we'll see them very deep towards B main. No early bust in any direction, but Mick is finding free space towards A main. Tucked into the corner, allowing Flynn to take the line. And they're really not worried about Fountain. Good nade. They are even not quite by a slow peak there with the shadow advantage. Allows Mosaic to find 1, but the AK gets that trade through, and now the A site is in trouble.
Yeah, 3 on 3. It's CDR, though, that's holding strong, and Zesta's going to just go for the individual fight. And against CDR, like, I just don't see you winning that. This guy, he does hit his shots pretty nicely under pressure. Dobu's got himself at least 1 kill, but he won't be into the B site quickly enough to get the plant for free. Dodges the nade. Did make a footstep after faking the plant, though, so Jamyoung would have heard that, and will be well aware that the plant's not happening. Now Dobu has to sit it. 2v1, difficult one to win. He's been able to tuck himself back into E-box. But this is an angle that will almost definitely be cleared by Tyloo. They've got a lot of time to work with. Jamyoung making a bit of noise on the site, hoping to draw out a peak, but I just don't see Dobu getting the 2 kills that he requires here. Headshots for both is a must, and it won't come through. And so Tyloo, once again, will limp over the line for another round.
Yeah. Just barely. Get it done. Just doing the shuffle, figuring out where each gun needs to go. Tyloo with another round on the board means there is hope. There is certainly hope. Shout out to ZDR for them for a very solid 16th round. And Atox now needing a little more in their weaponry department. Looks like we are just going to see this A hit. Let's see one from the break.
1 for 1. Atox won't be too disappointed with that, but MIQ just gets a little bit too over-eager to start pushing forward without the rest of your team. Trades are very good, though, from these Tech 9s. Not quite enough to get the numbers advantage in the end, and Cabal will have to go scurrying away. See if he can conjure anything up from this rotation. Maybe he can walk into heaven and grab a gun for free.
Yeah, bro, go through CT. Come all the way. I'll go through, yeah, CT spawn all the way from the beach. Hit those brakes. Ooh, I reckon he had another couple of steps there, but...
I mean, he's got 40 seconds. He doesn't need to be doing anything too rash. Tyloo pretty aware of this possibility, though.
Yeah. Where are these guns at? He could go to headshot and find himself a gun.
Yeah,
That's what he's going to try and do. Oh,
Hasn't
not
been
seen.
spotted. No way. Oh, this would be huge. Oh, and there was the opportunity. Doesn't get away
That
with
was
it.
the theory. I love that. I love that out of him.
Yeah, it was good. Well played.
But gives yourself a chance in a situation like that. There's so many people that, like, I'm just going off of, my experience. There's so many people where you try to make a play like that because you know that there is going to be a chance for you to get that upgrade, etc. Yeah, it's going for the old tactical. Get that one sorted. But, yeah, people are just like, just run in, just die, man. You can't win this. But, like, you can win it. It's Counter-Strike. Each round is winnable, no matter what.
Every round is definitely winnable.
You just got to have the mindset and not give up. And that's what we saw from Cabal. That's why Cabal is our homie.
Cabal is the homiest.
Mm-hmm.
So, guess we have to wait now for Mercury to get back in. It's been an interesting night. Lots to sort of unpack. Not sure that Tyloo is yet cutting the mustard. But I want to see them when they have their full roster, when they have their proper roster sorted out. No more of this funny business.
Yeah, we don't like funny business around here. Just keep it above board, guys. Nothing crazy, nothing special, nothing silly.
Okay. We're getting there, slowly but surely.
Yeah, reset, engaged.
Off we go. One of those camis undoubtedly would be Mercury. We'll get sorted for the next round. Main thing to focus on is that Mosey's been able to open the account, and Cabal, also very low, puts Atox at a pretty significant disadvantage for this round. Creep in through the smoke here from Zesta could be a good one. He'll be hearing those footsteps of Mosey and looking for the frag, and he'll get it. Will be enough to bring it back to 4-on-4.
Yeah. Ooh, close. Nice little crossfire. CT's able to fight there together. And Atox are very spread, but if Cabal can lock down this CT control, if he can sneak forward, catch a timing onto Mercury, oof. Maybe, just maybe, this one will work out, but the CTs, they've already pushed into Canal. Flynn going across here. Cabal catches a beautiful timing there onto Mercury, but with Flynn going down, ZDR gets easy pickings onto Cabal, and that is going to be 10-8. Tyloo finding another and giving themselves a chance here at maybe making a CT-sided comeback on Anubis. You wouldn't have expected it, but it's what we're getting.
Yeah, I mean, they're working hard for it. I would probably still not say in the pole position to win this map, but they are making it interesting, which might not have been the anticipated result based on that first half scoreline. 10-8. Atox with their money broken again are going to have to go back down to the pistols. Atox going to chance it with a push over bridge through the smoke, and Mosey is happy to deal with that until Dobu arrives. That's at least a rifle picked up, but not a whole lot of nuance from Atox on this T side of Anubis.
No. Just a classic get it over and done with kind of situation, isn't it?
Yeah. A little bit. Deficit has closed to 1 round.
Tyloo deciding to hold a fair amount of their util this round. Waiting until they heard something. Kami drops that smoke. Has a lot of confidence to still be hanging around here. Nick just nading off the wall. Ooh, good damage. That's that Hulk smoke. No molly from him to follow though. So Kami, he's going to stay here. He'll try and play around the smoke. The dry push, the nade. And that might have just thrown him off. Either way, Mick, great pick.
ZDR going to get aggressive through E-box. Oh, might just not have found the timing here. Flynn's posted up so that if ZDR exits, he's a dead man, and all it really takes here is for Flynn to step forward a couple of steps and win the duel. Always had the advantage. Got the job done. Important that he was able to do so because he was holding on to the bomb. But still, the Atox are going to try to push their way into the site, which is a little bit more stacked, and Mosey almost gets the double. Mercury not quite able to find that trade, but he has a chance for more. There's 7 seconds MIQ. Oh, he nearly died to that grenade. Either way, the round is secure for Atox.
Yep, they'll edge in an 11th. Finally stop that little streak that Tyloo was able to bring to the table. 2 rounds the difference now. And Atox need 2 of their own just to close things out here. Tyloo's money not looking too good at all. ZDR will be able to get the AWP back online. Couple of rifles, but 2 SMGs for Jamyoung and Mosea. Honestly, you're looking at Kami and Mercury on 6 kills and 8 kills. You would usually want to be giving those M4s across to the fraggers. But a lot of pros do enjoy some MP9 gameplay right now. I'm even calling for a little nerf, but hold that thought because this could be the round that breaks the game. Mercury has shut me up, finding 3 big picks there with the M4 of his son. Oh, that timing from Flynn was no good at all. Combination.
They're going to get out with the bomb. Tyloo should be pretty aware of that. Atox are going to pump the brakes here and hope that Tyloo will make a mistake, push into them. Flynn's very worried about T-spawn. No push coming from there, as we can see. Ooh, Cabal, though. Ended up with 1. He's not afraid of pushing his way forward, though he knew that the ult was there. So it doesn't look like it's really going to amount into a whole lot. Atox are going to be forced to really work hard for these rounds to close the map out, and they might not even be able to do so. 11 to 10.
Looking a little bit difficult here. Tyloo fans will be happy if this comeback does become a reality. They need 3 more in a row here to take it in regulation, but overtime certainly on the cards. Atox, their money is giving them a mixed bag, but still, you'd give them a chance here. 2 Galils, 2 Tech 9s, Dobu, the AK to try to crack things open as well. And he's looking to be that point man. Just waiting for these flashes from Mick to send them through. In come the bangers, in come the guns, in comes the kills, 2 for 2. And the B site in the hands of Atox.
Very much in the hands of Atox. Util's going to keep Tyloo locked out. That's a good spot for CT. There's another incendiary for Temple, so this is not looking too good for Tyloo, though they have managed to at least get that one opener. Zesta will line a couple up, and this could be all said and done. It is. Atox up to 12. Just need one more. Tyloo, for, you know, all the hard work that they put in this second half, they might still end up losing the map, and it will all be for naught. Not a good buy to be going into what could potentially be the last round of the map with.
No. Definitely just trying to keep their head above water. And info with the name of the game here for them. They takes a little chunk out of their health. And you can see that EDR is just really trying to draw attention. Missed sitter there. The re-smoke on mid. ZDR still playing a very dangerous game and trying to bait them into the trap of Mosey. Who's just here in the corner, hoping the Shadow's going to be able to allow him to get some hits here. Slow P. Easy ones. But he got baited by the weapon. And it's going to be a trade coming through from Zesta.
Don't tell me that Atox fumbled the bag right here, though. That would be very disappointing. They had it quite squarely. Oh, Jam Young around the back. Timing's going to be good. Oh, he's got 2. You just can't believe it, can you? Tyloo somehow have gotten through that round. It only took 2 players. It only took Jam Young and Mercury. And now the shoe's on the other foot. Atox don't have the greatest of buys. Really should have been their map right there.
Early molly towards mid. Will it be the final round? Or can Atox do it? A slightly lower buy than they would like to have. Jam Young just tossing some utility around. Nick making a ruckus towards the A site. But so far, Atox losing Zesta there is certainly going to make things a little more difficult.
ZDR going down like that is going to make it a little bit easier, and Mercury almost caught out on that timing as well. It's starting to get a bit awkward. Low HP, he'll be found by Doby through the smoke. It's 3-on-3. Atox couldn't have really asked for a better situation than what they've got now, at least. Bomb is going to go down. We've got the 3-on-3 post plant. Dobu will have to lock down the E-box push. It's Cammy with an MP9. You wouldn't really back that as a duel. He's going to have to make it happen. Dobu has every opportunity, AK in hand, to just lock it down. He won't. The MP9 is good enough, and this starting to get a bit awkward for Atox, but time is on their side. Frags perhaps are not, and MIQ is just trying to stand tall. It's taking them a long time to get rid of him, but Tyloo will at least salvage, and they will force it through to the overtime.
Yeah, we're certainly not done yet. We'll see how much more we have in store for us as we're going to be going again. Jordan?
Yes, indeed.
Full buys for everyone. who knows where this round's going to end. They are jiggling, trying to bait out any information. Dobu damn low after that engagement over towards the canals. And Mick expecting some A-main aggression. Atox very passive in their approach this round until they found that one. Mosea playing a dangerous game, just sitting in that smoke.
Atox are going to be a bit disappointed if they end up doing a pretty clean job in this first half of OT and wondering why couldn't they have gotten that done in regulation, but that is for sure something they'll have to worry about later on. For now, just going to make sure they cross the T's, dot the I's, get through these rounds. Bomb's going over toward B. There's a lot of presence on A, and that is starting to draw a rotation out from Tyloo. This strategy from Atox looks like it's working perfectly.
Left side smoke coming through there. This split will look pretty successful until the molly finishes off Flint. Kami in the meanwhile going to be able to find one as he starts to flank his way towards Con. And Mercury still dancing around towards the pillar side of sight. 3v3. They've got to wait these smokes out, which bloomed at the same time as the bomb going down. So they've bought a whole bunch of time here. And there'll only be 20 seconds for Tyloo to get back on site, go for the retake, as well as get that defuse off. There's a lot to do, and there's a lot to find. Zesta throwing his hand, maybe. Mercury can find another. Getting E-box control would be solid, but they won't be able to. And ZDR in the 1v2, unfortunately, unable to convert. It's going to be Atox getting that 13th round they were looking for, but in overtime.
Yeah, 13-12. It's the start they wanted. Tyloo going back to the drawing board. What does scare me a little bit for Atox is you're starting to see players like Mercury kind of come online. He was completely missing for pretty much the entire game. But he's having some moments now toward the back end of that half. All it really takes is for Tyloo to find their feet. They can maybe run away with things. It's going to be an aggressive round from Tyloo. You can see they're already pushing their way into the now. It doesn't seem like anyone's really heard that. Way too late. The information came through for Atox, and only Jamyoung was traded back. Now, though, very quickly, Atox find their targets. It's another very messy round. MIQ, he'll be able to beat the Tyloo members in, get the molly into cams, and that is going to be enough to allow the bomb plant. Maybe not.
Maybe not, indeed. Plenty of time to play with here. And he will try to just double back. Very confident. Seems to know where both those Tyloo players are. And they have not heard that escape away. So, free rotation. Back to B will start to come through. He's going wide. And we'll have to cross on that CT line, but it looks like Mosea won't get here in time. They're worried. They know that everything's dirty. They're worried about a flank in CT. But Dobu planting on B. Smoke and a molly to buy some extra time. Let's see if we can make this one happen.
The U2 will definitely help. He's going to be able to get himself out through B main as well. Ooh, this has been a lot of time off of the bomb timer already. A little bit of a step. Dobu not going to chance the swing just yet. Another tap on the bomb. He's cleared it out. He doesn't even get spotted either. Finally, the shot comes through. ZDR. He's been very consistent with the AWP. I will give him that.
We'll take that one for sure. But let's see what's going to be going down into the third round here. I want to see something a bit more explosive. We've been going real slow. It's been some very slow and then like mid-roundy Counter-Strike so far. Looks like ZDR might have something lined up. He's looking to the skies. I did like Tyloo's approach of going aggressive into canals in that last round. Felt like Atox didn't know how to deal with it. So I'm keen to see some more CT-sided aggression.
Yeah, hard to put a pin in it. And I think when we get onto the second half of this OT, we'll definitely see that CT side aggression come out from Atox. See how we go in this round from Tyloo. Deep smoke on the bridge. Once again, they're going to try and go forward, but CDR... Oh my goodness! Everyone wants to fight. What is going on here? Just take a step back and try to explain that to me.
No, I will not.
Oh my god. Okay.
Tyloo tearing them to pieces. And I did ask for something a bit more explosive, but it just has not worked at all for Atox. And that will be 14-13 as we head into the half. Flip those sides here on OT number 1.
Wow, that was a very strange round. So, okay,
Certainly was.
Atox trying to throw the book at Tyloo. Coming up with all kinds of shenanigans.
What are we going to see this time? Fast A pump. That's what I want. That's what we're going to get. Early flash into A main. Molly to slow them down. Mick ready to fight. And that Molly has just torn Cabal to pieces. Flames bloody everywhere. He couldn't see a damn thing. And it's cost him his life. And now with that mid player falling, A-site defense should be thinned. But this utility is just throwing Tyloo off. They don't want to go for it. Flash there. The nade is going to break it. And Kami in the meanwhile going to be able to find one more. Dobu falling with that B main aggression. And the protocol is from Tyloo, just run back to B. That's exactly what they're doing.
Oh. Well, Atox are going to be very disappointed with how this game has played out, because they might well just lose the map. And it should have really been theirs. Zester's not going to be able to do enough here. It's just too much to ask. 1 on 5. You've got 3 players that are all going to look to swing. Jamyoung will get it done. He's so crisp. It's been a great night for Jamyoung. Might even be able to 30 bomb on the map here.
Is this it? Is this all she wrote? Or is there more to be done? More to find? Canals controlled there for Tyloo. 2-man set up in mid for Atox. But they are going to shift back towards B, which is a great decision. Good timing on the molly. Make sure E-box control will not go into the hands of Tyloo. And Atox, they want to try to fight for this one. Putting Dobu out on the platter. Mick. Ooh, okay. That flash did not have the intended success.
But job's being done nicely by Tyloo. 5 on 4 here. They're starting to get some control in through mid. And Atox down to 1 remaining defender on the A bomb side. It's Cabal. He's going to have to double down here if he wants to say anything about this round. That will be a tough ask against Mosey and Jamyoung. Doesn't even require Jamyoung in the end, and that is Tyloo into the A bomb site. Atox requiring a 3 on 5 retake. I just don't see it.
Yeah. See if it pays off for them. It is a bold strategy code. Oh, timing. I thought it might have worked out for Zester there, but it hasn't. And Tyloo, it's the beginning of the end for them.
Yeah, Yeah, quite unfortunate for Atox. 1 on 4 for Flynn, and he just cannot get it done. So that will end up being that. Tyloo are able to secure Anubis, and they get themselves the 1-1 for this evening. Probably should have been an Atox 2-0. But at the end of the day, maybe there's still a bit more work to do in the Mongolian camp. And I guess Tyloo, you know, I don't know. I don't really know where I sit with Tyloo. Like, it wasn't the most inspired performance from them, certainly on Mirage. Quite a lot of mental fortitude to bring it back, though, on Anubis. Great game from Jamyong, actually, on both of those maps. So, you know, there's some positives to take away. But there it is.
There it is. That's the way the cookie crumbled. Atox taking the 2-zip, which is huge for them. You know, it's certainly a confidence booster after what Tyloo has been doing to a couple of the other teams in the region. And, yeah, shut me up. I thought that Tyloo was definitely going to be the favorite here. But, yeah, it's an interesting affair, all things considered.
You're cooked, mate. It was a 1-1.
I was reading the screen, all right. You know, on Anchorman,
I feel like I'm being gaslit. I've been gaslit a lot over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Just saying. So I was like, am I wrong right now, or what's going on?
I was a little bit too. I was like, I swear Tyloo just won, but I'm reading
just
maybe
trying
I'm
to,
just tired and missed the end of the game.
Yeah,
but
trying to check me in. All right, look, we will have to check in though with the Kadir player to watch, and that was ZDR. He did quite well for himself actually on that second map, and he's kind of found himself in this position where he's like the quasi-AWPer, I guess, for Tyloo in this interim period. 23 and 19, the shots that he were hitting were actually pretty solid. You know, he's mechanically a very good individual. I have actually kind of enjoyed watching ZDR in this roster. And if he's not going to, you know, maintain a position in Tyloo, I definitely think that there's at least an argument to be made that he's a player that we could keep an eye on in the future. And even over both maps, you can see he had a fairly positive performance for Tyloo tonight, even though they lost one map quite handily. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from ZDR, actually.
Yeah, I want to see a bit more from him. You know, even though like the AWPing's been looking good, some of those rifle rounds were absolutely cracker. So if we can see more of that, more consistency coming out of Tyloo, then I'll be excited. But also on the Atox side of things, MIQ, Mick, however you say his name, I love Mick because it's just much more Australian than MIQ personally. But yeah, keep your eyes on him. I hope that he can, you know, really shine for the region, shine for the team, and keep Atox in the conversation, because they've sort of been falling out of that conversation for a little while.
Yeah, indeed. Either way, yeah, I guess it's still like in that weird position where Atox, I don't know, they've obviously sort of set themselves up with what should be a playoffs position. You'd think they'll at least hold on to top 6. I don't know where Mongols is at, what they're going to be doing if they're playing any more games. Maybe Atox can overtake Mongols depending on how that all sort of plays out, but Atox will be definitely into the playoffs. And when you're in the playoffs, really anything can happen. You're going to have best of 3s. If they're in the upper bracket, which I think they might just be. They might just be on the upper bracket. Yeah, they'll have 2 chances, 2 bites at the cherry. You know, they'll have double elim, basically. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm still going to be keeping my eyes on Atox. I don't think we can write them off just yet.
Yeah, I'm keen to have a quick look at what the other results were tonight for the other games, but can I find them live? Well, there's other games still going, so yeah, chances are we don't know the results just yet. But that being said, it was a good night.
It was a good night indeed. And thank you very much for joining us, because that is the end of the night as well, the end of the week for Oceania and Asia. We'll be looking forward to catching up with you again in the future. So until then, have a good night.